Bill collectors. Okay, remember the financial fuck up I told you about him? Well, throughout our marriage, daily, I would get phone calls from bill collectors. I couldn't answer if I had clients in the car with me with real estate, I couldn't answer the phone because I didn't know what was going to be on the other end. I'd have to put it on ignore. So the bill collectors would call, and I always love it because who would want to be a bill collector, right? I can't even imagine. Who goes through life going, when I grow up, I want to be a bill collector? Because it's a horrible job. And you're rude to those people because you don't want to hear from them. You're in this horrible situation. So I love it. One day I get the call from the bill collector, and the guy says, is this Mrs. Schwab? I said, yes, this is Mrs. Schwab. And you knew right away, oh God, it's a bill collector. Is this Patti Schwab? I go, it's Patti Schwab. He said, this is who I'm speaking to, Patti Schwab. Yeah, that's it. I've identified myself a few times. He says, I'm calling from like whatever, Verizon or something like that. And he says, ma'am, your bill is past due. And I said, yeah, I know the bill's past due. He goes, well, would you like to pay it? And I said, yeah, I'd love to pay it. He goes, well, let's arrange it. I said, well, I can't. He goes, well, why not? I said, because I have no money. He says, well, ma'am, I just want to ask you why you have not paid the bill. And I said, honey, well, he didn't say I want to ask you. He actually said, I want to ask you. He said, I want to ask you why you have not paid the bill. And I said, what is your name, honey? And he goes, it's LeBron. I said, LeBron, why do you think I might not have paid the bill? I think we've kind of discussed this already. He goes, I don't know, ma'am. I said, you know what, LeBron, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you 4 choices. It's like a multiple choice. Remember that in school, LeBron? And I'm going to give you, and you tell me what you think the correct answer is. So I said, A, LeBron, I have been on a worldwide tour with the Spice Girls. They have been taking me everywhere. I mean, we've been to Monte Carlo, we've been, to Paris, we have wined and dined with the best of them, and we have been out on a yacht sometimes for weeks on end. And I said, so, LeBron, what happened here is, I just was so busy, I fucking forgot to pay the bills. That's it, and I didn't bring all that paperwork with me. I said, or B, LeBron, my life is so pitiful. I have no family. All I have are these 12 cats. I have no one here. I have no friends. They all have gone away, moved away, or died. And my existence in this small hovel is so pitiful that I found that if I don't pay a bill, people like you call me, and I can have an interaction on the phone with a lovely young man like yourself. And it does brighten up my day. Or C, LeBron, it could just be that I am such a bad and negative person that I think that if I don't pay my bill to Verizon, perhaps I could get Verizon's doors to shut down. And I would feel like, those hackers that they have power? It would give me power to know that I made a company like Verizon shut down because I did not pay my bill. That it could be a reason. Or D, it may be, LeBron, that I don't have the fucking money. Now, let me ask you here, LeBron, which one of those choices do you think it would be? Well, I don't know, ma'am. I don't know. Ma'am, you have to decide. I have to put something down. I said, LeBron, let's think this through clearly. Which one do you think it might be? Ma'am, I just have to ask you. Just give me one of those. I said, okay, LeBron, put down A. A. It's the Spice Girls. That's it, LeBron. I've been so busy, LeBron. I've been fucking busy. And so you put that down and you tell Verizon that. He goes, well, ma'am, I have to ask you, when do you plan to pay the bill? When are you going to have the money? I said, well, that's tough to say, LeBron. Because here's how it happens. I said, there's a pecking order. And when the money comes in, I have to look at what's going to get shut off or repossessed first. And that's got to go to the top of the list. And some things have more importance than others, like electricity. And if the electricity is going to go before the cell phone, I got to go for the electricity. And if they're going to repossess the house, I got to go there. So it's hard to say. He goes, but ma'am, I just have to have a time. I go, when are they going to shut off the phone, LeBron? When is that going to happen? He said, 3 weeks. I said, you just put down 2 weeks, LeBron. 2 weeks, and I'll talk to you again, and that gives me something to look forward to with your phone call. Seriously. I mean, you don't know what it's like to have people call you 5, 6, 7 times a day. My phone rings a lot less, but life is a lot more fun than it was when I lived through with the financial fuck up. So that was a good one to get out of. It was really a good one, I gotta tell you.